they need to work on. So they just picked up Lattimore, and then the two things that they just said that his weaknesses are is man-to-man coverage and can't get off the block. So
that's like it's like saying the guy the swimmer in this race. The two things he can't do is breathe underwater
and swim,
and swim, and move his arms.
Like I'm watching it, I'm like, is that really his weaknesses? So
why is a kicker who can't kick and doesn't have any eye coordination?
Yeah, exactly. The problem with the kicker, he's blind.
Yeah. That I'm just like, okay, wow.
Now, do we know Mark Dukowski's favorite football team? Why aren't you chiming in here with?
I'm not big on the football.
That's right. Yeah,
big on the baseball, the basketball, the hockey,
and baseball. We're studiously avoiding for a little bit because it's well, if you're a Yankee fan, you're liking that right fielder that's there, who jumps into stands, and if you're a Yankee fan, everything I always said it was a crying shame the way the contracts went, that A-Rod was going to end his career as a Yankee after Derek Jeter, and now it's going to be the same thing. A-Rod's going to be remembered as a Yankee. Jeter's not going to be remembered as a Yankee. He's remembered the owner, if that becomes true, the owner of the Marlins. And even so much so that they're saying that his wife's due date is right around the day that's supposed to retire his number and give him the monument. Yeah. He may find a way to miss the ceremony because she's going to have the baby. So
Houston traded up.
Houston traded up to get it.
Well,
to get the pick.
Now they're saying the sale is miles away from being sold.
Yeah, that's what Manfred said, the commissioner. So,
one thing everybody can say this, because you know what I mean, is that Houston definitely needs a quarterback, right? Yeah. Like, definitely needs a quarterback. You could say that.
You can put that in a time capsule. Yeah. Houston needs a quarterback.
Can you imagine, like, they just pick up Deshaun Kaiser?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Now Deshaun Watson will be like, whoa, huh? What?
Yeah, at least we know Houston definitely.
Mahomes is a Texas guy. He would have been good for Houston. It would have been perfect for Houston, actually. His dad was Mr. Basketball coming out of high school in Texas, and he's found that his son's out of Texas Tech.
Speaking of basketball, do you know who came out of the woodwork and made some comments recently?
No.
David Stern.
Did he really?
Yeah.
What's he talking about?
He
should be sleeping on his bed of money.
He was talking with Francesa.
Shame on Nets.
About the Nets, and the rest of their players. That last game against the Bulls, because they changed the whole playoff situation.
Yeah. Well, how about the fact that ESPN fired just about everybody yesterday?
Yeah.
Wait, they still have draft coverage?
They do. And one of the people who's working the draft coverage for them is the one person who everyone has schadenfreude, which is taking joy in someone else's misery. That girl, Britt McHenry, she was the one who went viral about 2 or 3 years ago, where she went off on the woman in the parking when her car was towed. She's like, I'm on TV, you'll have this job, blah, 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 blah. And it went viral, and she was suspended, but she came back, and, she lost her job. But she's still working this draft today.
New York notable lost her job, Robin Lundberg.
Oh. Yeah, man, I love Robin Lundberg.
And
they cut a lot of I'm sorry.
They're going to simulcast intentional talk. ESPN is going to show MLB Network shows from like 3 to 4 or something on daily or something like that.
Listen,
that's really they're going to outsource. ESPN, the worldwide leader, is going to outsource.
I hope they don't fire Kerry Champion.
Andy Katz just got released.
That was a big one because Andy Katz knows his stuff in college basketball. He's the college basketball guru.
Ed Werder
was the first one that was announced. Now, I never know. Now, I was speaking to Mr. Adam Rubin off air yesterday about his deal and why he knew that they were doing this. So he got the offer from NYIT, New York Institute of Technology, where he's the assistant athletic director of communications. He knew that job was coming. He took that job, and he got a buyout from ESPN. So he got the double dip for a few months of money, which was a good way to go. And he's a part owner of a hockey team called the Birmingham Bulls, which went live this week in Birmingham, Alabama, by the way.
Oh, nice. But see, they never replaced him.
No, they're not going to. And the Los Angeles Dodgers guy got left.
And Wally Matthews,
he took the buyout, too.
Yeah. So those were like the preset.
That's right. They took if you know layoffs are coming, always take the buyout the first round because the most money is there. If you can help it, if you have enough wherewithal where you don't need a job day in day out. If you know there's if you know there's layoffs coming, take the first offer. It's unlike the airplane. Take the third offer. Now they're up to $10,000 they can offer you.
Thank you. They definitely took Deshaun Watson.
They did.
Yeah, I know my dad texted me. He's like, "Yeah, we got a quarterback." He's a Texans fan.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Okay. Well, let's sit back and find out how your dad's over 50, right?
Yeah.
But born and raised in New York or no?
He gave up on the Jets.
Okay. So he started fresh. He started fresh. At least he didn't get some move team or something. He started with the fresh. Yes. So they took. Wow.
I can't talk to my dad right now. He's a Giants fan. He feel like Brandon Marshall just made them win the Super Bowl. So we're not even speaking about. We're not even speaking about football in the house.
I don't know who's crazier, your dad or Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know. I'm not even speaking to him.
Wow. It does matter, but someone's got to block for Eli.
Yeah.
It's like someone's got to keep him upright.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that with Mitchell Trubisky, the number of snaps he took behind center this year, 0. Not one.
You know what the biggest thing I'm waiting for this year is not to see how the players are going to react this year, to see if the ratings are still going to dip. Because what are they going to blame this year if the ratings dip?
That's not Kaepernick. They can't blame that. They can't blame the election.
Yeah. So this is the year to see if are these players that are being drafted.
Well, you know what's happening with all this bloodletting that's occurring at ESPN. It's all related to them paying crazy rights money for the NFL and for the NBA. $1.4 billion for both of them.
People are not watching.
No, because I don't know how many of you guys. I mean, you're not out in the job world yet, but you will be. You're young. You'll be young professionals. Most young professionals aren't subscribing to cable. They're getting their content via phones, Netflix, whatever they're doing.
Also, not even that. A lot of people that are young are just busy all day.
They're
going to because now they're in school,
and they can catch up on it on their own.
On the phone.
They don't need to
highlights.
watch. And now Sports Center has become such shtick. And it's funny. I've been home with my mother being in the hospital. I've been staying home some days and everything. So I've been watching ESPN, and it's all just shows. It's like talk shows where they have, and some of them are pretty good. I really like some of the people they have. You can tell they get along because they really give it to each other good. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and you can only do that to your friends. You cannot do that to someone that you have, where you're rivals with. Just friends. They give it to each other hard.
Because when Skip Bayless left First Take, they wanted to get Michelle Beadle. To be
the show she's on now is phenomenal. It's Michelle Beadle. It's who else is on that? I was just watching the other day and saying these guys are really good together.
Bennett.
Marcellus Wiley, right?
Marcellus Wiley. I don't know why I said Bennett.
Marcellus Wiley. And someone on the who's on the
I forget he has dreads. I know you're talking about.
They're trying to copy Fox because obviously Fox is getting the ratings now, and so what?
That's right. And the it was really good. It was really there was I'm trying to think it was. They had some professional wrestler there on Friday. That's what it was. A Monday when I was watching it. It was some professional, and he was talking about. They were doing the quote that Sean Kaiser had about. He's got the brain, the intellect of Brady, and he's got the body of Cam Newton. And they're like, he's like, yeah, it's an interesting quote. Yeah, it's funny. And they're like, it's funny how he uses the brain for Brady and the body for Newton. And they're like, why do you think that is? He's like, oh, I don't know. He's got a great. Why do you think that is? Like he's not. They're like, come on, say it. Why do you think he would?
The movie Get Out.
And you can tell he was oblivious. You can tell he was totally oblivious. Like, I don't know. And Wiley and the other guy are like, come on. And the guy was oblivious. Like he wanted to say, but he didn't know what they were going for. Meanwhile, we're watching at home like, you know what he's saying. It's come on, you moron. But I guess the professional wrestler, that's his thing. So,
I don't know. I'm still.
So now we've got Trubisky. We got Watson. We got Mahomes. So 3 quarterbacks gone.
Yeah.
In the first 12 picks.
I think this pick is almost perfect. Like the offensive talent on the Houston Texans. You got Will Fuller. You got Braxton Miller from Ohio State. You got DeAndre Hopkins. The talent is, and it's young, and it's something that he could grow with.
And he didn't go to a cursed team. Yeah. Deshaun Watson going to the Browns would have been a disaster. Yeah. Would have been an absolute disaster because it would have been like, you know what, Jamarcus Russell all over again. It would have been like,
imagine Michael Vick went to the Browns.
Right. Yeah, it just would not be a good thing.
And they finished number 1 defense without J.J. Watt. They finished number 1 defense last year.
He's got guys to throw to.
And with the Colts and they not being able to protect Andrew.
So the Texans go and trade Osweiler. They get out from under the contract, right? So they don't have to pay for him. They get and what do they get? They got a pick back, right, from the Browns essentially.
They gave the Browns a 7th-round pick.
Yeah. So. It's a good deal for the Texans. Just saved themselves in terms of they made a colossally bad move last year, throwing money at Osweiler against themselves. No one was bid. The Broncos were like, "You want Osweiler? Take him." John Elway was like, "Go ahead and take him." So that was the Texans just got themselves out from under a big boulder, and I think they're going to sell a lot of jerseys because Watson's going to be a favorite kind of player. He's the kind of player that kids are going to love. Kids are going to love watching him play because he's a winner and he gets it done. And you know what?
My dad texted me. He says that he gave up on the Jets when Richard Todd threw the ball to A.J.
Dewey. Three times. Yeah. 1983, I believe it was. Yes. 3 times he threw it to Mr. A.J. Dewey. Mm-hmm. Yes. I remember one time I was right out of college and I was visiting. They called me in for an interview, even though I had a job. It was one of those. Actually, it was the firm that became the one that Leonardo DiCaprio movie was about. So that guy, Jordan Belfort, and they put Richard Todd worked at one of those firms. He had his own firm down before I think he got in trouble with the SEC as well, not the conference, the financial watchdog.
Security Exchange.
Securities Exchange Commission. And they're like, hey, you want to talk to Richard? Trying to woo me in. They're like, you want to talk to Richard Todd? So they hand me the phone. I'm 22 years old. I didn't care. I already had a real job on Wall Street. I was just doing this as a lark. And I'm like, oh, really, Richard Todd? I'm like, hey, it's A.J. Dewey. A.J. Dewey was a guy that was a linebacker for the Dolphins who was so forgettable. It's his name was the most memorable thing about him, and he intercepted Todd 3 times in this game. It was just a horrible, horrible game. I think it was December of '83, I want to say, but I could be wrong on that. But the Jets had their green and white uniform. It was terrible. 516-572-7440.
It was like a solid.
Yeah, and they had the line under the JETS was supposed to be like a jet, essentially.
Doesn't the Holy Trinity have like sin?
They do, yeah. Just like the MacArthur High School, MacArthur Generals, their helmet is what the New Jersey Generals helmet was back with Doug Flutie, Herschel Walker, and Donald Trump. So that was what their helmet was. The 5 stars there. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. What are they up to with their guys? So the Cardinals are up.
O.J. Howard.
You think so?
Well, they've got Larry Fitzgerald on his last legs. They lost Michael Floyd to the law. They got Carson Palmer, who's on his last legs as well. So they got to do something involving a quarterback, right? They needed a quarterback. But what quarterback is there? Nobody for them.
And they won't pick.
If they go for Kaiser, they're idiots.
Right?
They're idiots.
Oh, okay.
He's got an arm. Kaiser. I said he's got the best arm I've ever seen of a college quarterback. In the last that I've been watching college football real closely since '88. He's got the best arm I've ever seen on a college quarterback. Doesn't mean anything, but he does have the best arm I've ever seen. But wide receivers, we just had the run on the wide receivers. So I don't know what kind of wide receivers are out there. So now the linebacker, right? Now you got to go. You got to go where there's good players left. It's defense.
Reuben Foster,
Jonathan Allen, right? I mean, he's out there. He's not a linebacker, but
they just keep getting richer, man.
The
Cardinals got everyone.
Desert Swarm defense, right? That's what that. I'm just thinking about guys that could be they could go. O.J. Howard's still there. That'll help Carson Palmer out big time. It'll help David Johnson out big time. Now David Johnson was a nothing pick as well. I mean, they just found him nowhere.
He turned out to be.
So that's
they're definitely gonna pick up Jonathan Allen.
Delvin Cook would be good for them, but he's probably a later round kind of guy. But he's a running back who catches the ball out of the backfield.
Everyone says either going to Philly or the Tampa Bay.
Yep.
But do you use a first round pick for that when you do have David Johnson? Because David Johnson is a great
you don't
out of the backfield.
You don't want to. You want to get.
You want 2. You want to get 2 of everything nowadays.
But now I guess they got to go defense because they can have another year of Fitzgerald being on top of his game before he gets old real fast, and he's going to get old real fast. So I guess they can go and not have a wide receiver here and get one next year or get a free agent next year, whatever it is. So maybe you just go best athlete available, which could be Malik Hooker, which could be Jonathan Allen, which could be O.J. Howard tight end, but that's offense. It could be Reuben Foster. There's this Missouri guy who's both the defensive end / outside linebacker, Charles Harris.
They picked up Hassan Reddick.
Out of Temple.
Oh, okay.
There's a guy who moved up the charts. Now, let's just talk about small schools that have been drafted so far. Western Michigan, Temple. Now, I realize Temple's a university in Philadelphia and everything, but it's not the football school it used to be back when Bill Cosby went. It was, but Bill Cosby used to be big, too. But, so we're talking.
Just ask the ladies.
Exactly. I was knocked out. I don't remember. But
that's what I'm saying. The Jets is going to get another great pick.
Hassan Reddick, he's got a. You know what he was? He was a walk-on, Riddick. So they got a walk-on just to Temple just got picked 13th, was it?
They do play at the link.
Very nice. So they must have got cheered nicely.